By starting his tweet off with an incredibly advanced 5-letter adjective, crazy, Trump is both foreshadowing the tone of the rest of his tweet and sparking the audience sympathy by revealing his unstable current mental state. Skillfully transitioning to the next part with actually, Trump utilizes a total of 5 commas in the same sentence, aiming to build an angry momentum at the expense of creating a run-on sentence. Then, Trump purposefully employs powerful dictions, fast and hard, as well as crying all the way, in order to create a striking imagery of Joe Biden just dropping dead and crying, successfully shaking the audience to the core as they cannot help but fall to their knees, just begging for Trump to reverse this terrible prophecy of poor Joe's fate. Trump's last word direct the prophecy to Joe Biden. It was such an impressive punchline that a comma just was missing, possibly because it was scared and flew away. Trump uses single quotation marks on all 3 words of extremely credible source, hinting that none of the 3 words is true. Right afterwards, with the action has called my office, Trump is fighting back against the accusation that he is not doing important presidential work in the White House. Because if he wasn't working tirelessly and picking up phone calls in the office, how would he know about President Obama's fake birth certificate? He certainly can't just be making up lies. Trump again mentions President Obama's birth certificate, which is clearly now a recurring motif embedded in his speeches. Yet this tweet has deeper meanings than simply that. By starting off with an exclamation of how amazing, Trump almost sounds cruel, not caring about the death of this poor state health director and deciding to make up conspiracy theories instead. Yet this cruel cold-heartedness is so brutally obvious that Trump's clever audience quickly come to the epiphany that Trump must have put on this cold-hearted mask in order to cover his deep sorrow for the loss of the state health director. This can also be shown by the missing period after all others have lived, as Trump is too overwhelmed with misery to be grammatically correct at this point. This tweet is, again, showing our president as a very emotional, trusting character. By saying he strongly pressed and Putin vehemently denied, Trump puts his sweet, brotherly, passionate, lovable, strong, tough relationship with Putin on full display. Trump's words deeply affected his audience, who now wants to give their most sincere congratulations to the beautiful relationship between the 2 world leaders instead of focusing on boring election meddling things. Between intelligence or being really smart, Trump picks the latter, purposefully employing the word like to appeal to the modern society of younger people who are currently in a healthy obsession with this word. Calling another politician crooked might seem not very polite at first glance, but surely most of Trump's audience will realize the deeper meanings behind it. Here, Trump actually demonstrates his unique ability to help his audience remember politicians by name-calling politicians. How else would hoi polloi recognize the name Hillary Clinton without the adjective crooked in front? Lastly, Trump upgrades himself from smart to a very stable genius. This is not just simply a hyperbole. It also has a splash of dramatic irony, as a lot of his audience know very well that his descriptions are the opposite of reality. This tweet surely leaves a lasting image in the minds of the people who are so thankful to be saved by the president from the big bad Christmas haters. Trump cleverly tweeted it right after the end of the World War on Christmas, making it even more impactful. The repetition of proud, the capitalization of Merry Christmas, and the 6th exclamation mark fully demonstrated Trump's gratefulness to have this cherished and beautiful phrase, Christmas, back, as if it never has left. Here, Trump again demonstrates his credibility to his audience by utilizing both a rhetorical question and a few highly advanced vocabulary words, including old, short, and fat. By transitioning from an infuriated all caps never to a sign of oh well, and a hopeful ending of maybe someday that will happen. Trump complains to his audience like how a child would complain to their parents when they had an unhappy quarrel in kindergarten, sparking the intense motherly love of his audience. The startling change from one question mark in the first sentence to two in the second indicates the increasing level of confusion and distress of Trump, making the audience feel a surge of sympathy towards the poor president who just went through the terrible, tragic treatment of being accidentally touched on the arm. The audience feels for Trump even more when they realize that Trump can no longer recognize a pen. Instead, he is frightened by it. He's tweeting about it. This realization activates the audience's protective mode towards Trump, who does not deserve going through the double tragedy of first being touched on the arm and then being frightened by a pen. It becomes increasingly clear to Trump's audience that he lives a soap opera life full of people spying and hating on him constantly. Obama being obsessed with Trump even when Trump never even bothered him is a crystal clear example. Trump's exclamation of terrible at the beginning is definitely justified with him living such a difficult life. Lastly, Trump's reference to McCarthyism proves to the audience that he has a brief understanding of a section of United States history, which is incredibly important when he fails to demonstrate mathematical, English, and geographical knowledge otherwise. McCarthyism, practice of making accusations without proper regard for evidence, perfectly sums up the entire tweet.